How you doing? You want some lasagna? This is Respectfully. I'm Andrea Allen.
I'm Lizzie Cassidy.
Guys, today we have, I think, maybe one of my favorite people in the world, on the planet, in the universe. One of the funniest, coolest bitches. I'm freaking out. I love her. You guys are going to love her. Tracey Carnazzo, welcome to the program.
I'm also freaking out.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I've been listening to you guys
I love
religiously.
you. Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't take it. I just can't take it. They're
my
so
God.
wild and funny and relatable. And you guys say terrible things. And I'm like, yes, me too.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. We do say terrible things.
We do say
Yeah, no, but it's all
terrible things.
Unfortunately, it's all relatable.
I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Tracey is my spirit animal.
Yeah.
You two are actually kind of similar to each other in
my
that
God, thank you.
I am a little bit of a people pleaser, and we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
And when I need people to defend my honor,
Yeah, dude, I'll bulldog
I'll
for you.
send in the dogs.
Right.
And
I
you
like
two
that.
both are like, first of all, how fucking dare
My
you?
nails are clicking.
Yes, both of your nails are
I
clicking.
love this.
You are incredible people. Tracey has many podcasts.
I have every
They're
podcast.
all incredible. Tracey has 45 podcasts. And you want
I
to
host the Joe Rogan Experience. I didn't want to say anything, but I do.
It's kind of a big get.
I don't want to give it away, but that is what I do.
Yeah. You've got Teen Mom Trash Talk,
Yeah.
90 Day Fiancé Trash Talk, and you've got something going on behind the Patreon paywall. What do you have there?
Behind the Wall, we have a brand new podcast called So Pumped, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, where I'm watching it for the first time.
Yes.
Noelle's watching it for the millionth time,
Yeah.
and she is explaining it to me as we go along.
That's so funny.
It's
I
wild.
love that.
Yes.
Oh, what a crazy show.
I saw Tracey do a live pod at the Stand years back with who was the guy that was on?
Sam Roberts.
Yes,
from
Sam Roberts.
Jim and Sam.
Yes.
Love.
And you guys were talking about Teen Mom, I believe.
We were
And
talking about 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh, you
yeah,
were.
he's a
It
90
was-
Day Fiancé fan.
the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah.
Someone, you said he looked like E.T., and then you were like, he's in a basket. And that lives rent free in my fucking mind. Every
was
time
in
I
a
see like a
basket.
weird bald guy, I'm like, he's in a basket.
Oh, I'm doing a new live podcast too as part of the New York Comedy Festival.
Oh, yes, plug it up,
Trash
baby.
Talk Live,
Yes.
November 11th, 4 p.m. Caveat on
Oh
the
my
Lower East
God.
Side of New York City. Trash Talk Live, TraceyCarnazzo.com for tickets. Thank
If you want to see something incredible and have Tracey live in your mind rent free for the rest of your life, you'll go to that fucking show.
Yeah, we've met before, but we've been hanging out for like 10 minutes and I'm obsessed
we're
with you.
we're best
Yeah,
friends.
I mean,
Yeah.
I knew you would be. I knew
but
you would
see,
be.
this is the problem with podcasting.
Yeah.
Because do we not hang out every week?
I know.
Yeah, we do.
Because I hang out with you. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know that I'm there, but
I know
you're there.
you're there.
No, we're best friends
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
Because
that's
I know
the thing.
everything about you.
I'm speaking directly
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
It's so funny. Like I'll meet comics whose podcasts I listen to, and then they'll be like, blah, blah, blah. I'm from Boston. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah, you're like, I know your sister's name. Relax.
Yeah,
Yes.
stop telling me stuff about you. Like
Yeah.
we're just meeting for the first time. I know everything about your ex-girlfriend.
I fall asleep to the dulcet tones of your voice every night.
Yeah.
I mean, I do fall asleep to the dulcet tones of your friend and life partner, Tim Dillon.
Oh, yes.
Which is the most problematic thing about me
Probably,
in the
yeah.
universe. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I realize about my weird relationship with Tim Dillon is I think I miss my father, and Tim Dillon
I can see that.
is like angry and
Yeah.
a lunatic, and I'm like, I miss that male presence.
I
in my
need
life.
to give.
Interesting.
Maybe we can get him to adopt you.
I don't know. If Tim Dillon was your legal father.
Oh my god, I'm freaking out.
I'll have him sign the papers. It's fine.
I love.
he won't
I'm
read
obsessed
anything.
With adults. Did you watch Adults Adopting Adults? That TLC program.
So that was really cut short when it was.
I know. Because
when it
was
became
sex
very.
trafficking.
The sex trafficking portion of the show got cut real short.
Yeah, this guy like adopted an adult woman and was like, it's not so I can fuck her, but
But I
If it
do.
happens.
But I do.
If we get Tim Dillon to adopt me and sex traffic me, I think I can
I think that's
finally
cool.
rest calmly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put in the papers, Tim. I need you. I'm just putting it out there. I need you.
I got it. I'll have him sign them.
Yeah.
He won't read anything.
No, that's fine. You can just sign over the mortgage.
I'm like, I have a daughter.
I have a goddaughter.
you got a boy pregnant 30 years ago.
And it's that would make a lot of sense.
Tim Dillon got a twink pregnant, and now I'm his
you exist.
giant goddaughter. Oh, that's incredible.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than coming from your parents.
Yeah, it does.
You were anally birthed.
That also makes a lot of sense.
I know that fits.
Lizzie said this thing about me. I wear like giant top hats sometimes in the recordings. Spoiler alert.
Oh, I know.
And people in the comment section keep calling me like Willy Wonka.
So funny.
Right.
Someone called me Billie Eilish, which I was deeply complimented.
Yeah, that's nice.
But we now realize I look like Howard Stern or
If you got
like
his hair
Slash.
chemically straight,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Slash.
And I was like, oh, it's
All
like,
of these are not bad things.
No,
Yeah.
I was flattered, but I think I'm like a horny, low self-esteem rock and roll guy.
Yeah.
If that
You could be a
was-
Ramon too.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, if a guy who thinks that dressing like Slash gets you pussy woke up in a woman's body, he would act like
Yes,
Andrea.
100%.
Yeah, I've worked with a million guys like you.
Yeah.
No.
I used to work in the music industry. I know all
yeah,
about you.
I know. And I'm like,
You're like super into Faster Pussycat.
Oh, that's a fun game. What kind of guy would you be if you were a guy?
Yeah,
That's who you would be.
I'd be rock guy.
Yeah.
I would be Dive Bar Townie.
Yes, you would be.
You would be like the
I would
guy that.
unfortunately be Dive Bar Townie who still says things that were okay in 2006 but aren't okay now.
Yeah.
Would you be on the Dart League?
Yeah, I'd be on the
Yeah,
Dart League. Oh my
okay.
God. I'd be on the Dart League and I'd be like a sore loser.
Right.
I'd be like, this is all I have. My wife hates me.
You would take home whatever girl like waited around for the game to end.
Yeah, I would take home some like busted bitch.
You'd be like, she seems cool.
Yeah. I would take home some girl with
She
an
needs
eye
a ride
patch.
home.
Tracy would be a small business owner guy,
Yeah,
What kind of
like an
business?
Entrepreneur.
an entrepreneur.
What kind of business?
I'm
I feel like it would be
think.
shady.
It would be-
it would be cash only.
It would be a
Yeah,
pyramid scheme
yeah.
of some kind.
Cash only. I would have a cash only pizzeria.
Yes, you would.
And like your son works there. And you're like, one day this is all going to be yours.
I can see this.
Yeah, and maybe one of your children has special needs, and no one can talk
Oh,
about
I mean, listen.
no one talks. No one
Here's the thing about my children. I guess if I was a guy, I would keep them because I wouldn't have to raise them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I was a woman and I had, like, I would never have custody of my children. You know that.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course,
never.
of course.
Yeah.
wouldn't know. And
They'd be
that's-
with whoever the state placed them with.
No, but if you were a man, you'd be like a decent father.
No, I would. No,
Yeah.
I would be a dad. See, that's why when people are talking to me about having kids, and guys talk to me about having
Yeah.
kids, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, I'd be a dad too.
Yeah, you
I know
would.
it's so funny. Guys always say to me, they're like, you can be a comedian and have a kid. And I'm like, you can be a comedian
Yeah.
and have
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
Can you imagine your mom is like a middling comedian who talks about her pussy? That's child abuse.
I don't want to say anything.
that kind of.
I don't want to lose friends right now,
direct
but
energy missile at a lot of the women in our comedy
Sorry,
community.
I'm sorry, but you have to be self-aware about the fact that that's like, if my kid had to go to high school and there's like clips of me on the internet with 100 likes talking about my pussy.
yeah, but that's
so
going to be the future.
embarrassing.
The future is
Yeah.
because everyone's a content creator.
I know.
Yeah.
And the future is finding videos of everyone's mom.
Yeah.
I know.
And everyone's mom's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I guess it's not the worst thing your mom
Cringe
can
mom.
do
Sorry,
online.
Andrea.
Yeah, that's okay. My OnlyFans
Yeah.
is doing fine. But not great, but fine.
I guess it's better than your mom doing like Starbucks reviews
Yeah.
or something.
Shout out to our moms.
Shout out to
Just
moms.
doing their best.
Doing her
God.
makeup, her get ready with me.
Oh my God. And that's from like 10 years ago. And your friends are like, is this your mom?
You're like, no, my mom doesn't use Wet and Wild.
My mom can't call me without telling me that somebody died or is like every conversation is about who is dying, who died.
Yeah.
Everything is about death. And then she's like, when I die. And I'm like, all right, I know everybody dies. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
I don't know. This is something my mom said. She went on a date and I was like, was it fun? And she says, well, I feel every experience shapes us. So always something gained and maybe something lost.
So
What did she
not
lose?
fun.
I don't
Be like, hey, Ma, what'd you lose on the date?
Did this guy take your social security number?
Yeah, not a good date.
Yeah.
You
Just
know
my
someone's
wallet.
yeah. You know someone's having a hard time dating where they're like, everything is something that we learn from. Each person is a stepping stone closer to your soulmate. And you're like, you're having a hard time.
You're having a bad time.
Sounds
having
like
a
me.
hard time. No, it is me. I'm talking about me.
I'm like, yeah, it's, every guy that you date, I just know more now what I don't want.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I mean, Tracy's stories, if you don't look at Tracy's stories on Instagram, you're missing out.
Oh,
Because
it's mental illness. It's you see the downfall. You
Yeah.
see the spiraling.
Yeah.
It's usually around 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Love that.
Now, I will tell you, the last 2 years, it's just for funsies.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
The 5 years before that, it was definitely a real play-by-play spiral of my
Yeah,
life.
cry for help.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
watching you do a cry for help via
Yeah.
like inspiration quotes of
Yes.
like, if he doesn't know your value, and I'd be like, oh,
she's not okay. Yeah, well, there were two comics that were friends, and they had like a group chat with me, and they're like, "Oh man, how was last night? Thank you so much."
yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're like, "That was fun." I'm like, "Thank you." I took you on a ride.
Well, speaking of dating, we're gonna do our
Love
first
dating,
respectfully.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone loves dating. It's
Yeah.
the best. We'll do our first respectfully segment, which is this is a controversial one. We have multiple angles on it, but respectfully, what are you doing when you're dating someone who's wild, trying to date, and also dating sometimes as well?
Yeah.
Someone who is wildly and visibly out of your league.
Yeah.
So on the one side of it, I mean, Lizzie, I think you should talk about this when men try to date women who are wildly out of their league,
It's just like
which is most men.
Oh man,
it's so delusional.
So good, though.
And
Yeah.
they get so mad. And like the thing that I always encounter is guys being like, "But I'm nice."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're nice. She's hot and funny and brilliant and also nice.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you thinking?
Yes.
She's supposed to be like, "Oh, he brought me coffee, so I guess I owe him pussy." What
Yeah.
are you talking about
Yeah.
right now?
And you're a 3.
Yeah, and you're
Yes.
a 3 and you're
yeah.
respectfully broke
Yes.
and annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being nice.
I
is
feel like
supposed
I
to
know
get
who you're
you-
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could name a million men I'm talking about right now, but like you're doing the absolute bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then acting like you deserve a medal, B, a wife, and C, sex with someone out of your league.
I like when they cry about it though. That
I
is
love
what I do
yes.
enjoy. It's like first they tell you who they're after, and you're like,
And you go,
right, and you're like, no, I mean that sounds
good,
real. It sounds like
good.
that might happen for you. So definitely. And they're like, yeah, I called her 7 times yesterday. Do you think that was too much? And I'm like, no, I think
call her
that's the
again.
perfect amount because
Yes.
her lucky number is 7.
yeah.
As you found out, well, when you read everything about her.
Yes. Yes.
I think that. Oh God, there's someone I have in mind right now. So this is just
Yeah.
so
We all have
perfect.
someone we have in mind.
Just calling me a lot to be like, hey, I will say a lot of these guys are the kind of guys who call you for just to talk about what they want to talk about, and they
Yes.
never ask.
Oh.
They never ask how
Not a
you are.
single
Oh, I know.
question.
And it's like, hey, I'm in the middle of like something terrible, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay,
I'm like,
cool.
I'm at my father's funeral.
Right, you're like, I'm at my-
okay, but she didn't text me back.
Right. I'm like, I'm watching my dad die in a hospital bed, and they're like, cool, can I call you quick?
Yeah.
And you pick up, and they're like, yeah, so anyway, this girl, right? Like she, I think that she'd really be into me. I think she is into me. She picked up, I called her 7 times. She picked up one of those times.
Yeah.
She said, don't call me anymore. But I think,
Yes.
That means I should text her.
right, I think that she's just going through something.
There's something that this obsessive delusional mind does where there's one tiny
it's a-
piece of information
you
or
hold on
thing,
to it.
Yeah.
and they snap onto
yeah.
it.
And I watch it. And then
Me.
I watch them.
Sorry, buddy.
Also, by the way, me.
If this is someone in comedy, right?
Yeah.
You also watch them book this female.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, she's headlining every show.
Yes.
And then every show they do, she's on because they've asked a producer to put her on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
And it's
Oh,
just
you
I like
love
that.
her. You love her.
She loves you back.
she'll
I
and also
promise.
she'll never fuck you. It's never
Right.
gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
not
Also, if you are this girl, like, and no matter what, if you do comedy or whatever you do, if you can tell that a guy is giving you shit because he has a crush on you, look at me. Never fuck him.
Never.
Because
No,
it'll stop.
he'll
It'll
stop.
end.
yeah.
Right, but also never turn him down.
No,
Yeah,
never turn him down. Yeah,
he
kiss
might
him on
kill
the
you.
cheek.
He might kill you.
He might kill you.
Yeah.
You have to tell him that you have an infection.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Which
Tell
is
him you have an
easy, 'cause
infection.
I always have an infection.
You would totally be with him if you weren't just
Riddled with
absolute-
infection.
so much infection.
Yeah. I have a million infections.
It's festering.
Yeah. You always have an infection. You always have an early flight.
You're going through something.
You're always going through something.
Always going
Oh,
through
you're going
something.
through something big.
Yeah.
And
Everyone you know is also going through something, which means you are going through something with everyone you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
But he can keep doing stuff to help you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Because you'll be rewarded for being a good boy in the end.
Right. I mean, the spots aren't
Yeah.
great. I'm not going to lie.
no. I mean, there's
Those aren't
also
great
like,
spots.
No.
They're $10 spots.
Yeah.
It's, they're in Brooklyn. It's, a 11 p.m. show on a Thursday. But you know
Yes,
what?
A spot is a spot.
It's
Yeah.
good for working out some new stuff.
well, there's this thing where I have such an issue with when something is objectively insane right in front of my face, not saying anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm learning this. This is new to me.
Oh,
not
really?
saying anything.
That's
yeah.
It's new to me too.
I have to say something. And so when you come in here with a fucking like 10 who's clearly like on cocaine or newly sober
Sure.
or like a lost baby,
They're always
deer,
newly sober.
Yes.
Or worse, if there's none of that.
Yeah.
If she's like a doctor with her shit together and
Yeah.
you're like a loser open micer who's ugly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Does she know you have
what
7
kind of family
roommates?
money do you have? What
Yes.
happened? What is this?
It's like I have to know what happened. I can't just stand by and not be like, okay, but seriously, what?
Okay, but on the
fuck is
other
this?
end of that, don't you feel like we've all been on the other end of this? Meaning, like, we've dated guys where people are like, "What is she doing?"
Yeah,
in terms of like
course.
grossness,
Yeah,
of course,
course.
I am one of the most
Yeah, like
guilty
I have a
people
few
of
exes
this.
where people are like, "So, like." What was that? Like you were on drugs, right? And I'm like, no, I was sober the whole time. And then they're like, you were on drugs. I'm like, right, I was on drugs. I was on
You know
drugs.
what
I was on
rules
drugs.
is I was on drugs. Would I have done it anyway? Yes. But
Yeah.
it's
But
such
you
a
have
good
the excuse. I don't have
Yeah.
the excuse,
Yeah.
and it's very upsetting. I'm like, I did take Advil like a week before that, so
I didn't
Yeah.
even know what I was
I might have been
doing.
bleeding internally.
Yeah, there's also just like
I had no blood.
I had a
no
GI
blood-
bleed.
I had no blood left in my brain because I was abusing Advil.
I had an infection.
I had an infection. It was festering. It went to my brain.
I had a tapeworm that makes me fuck
Does it?
losers.
I think I've had that tapeworm.
Yeah, I have worms for brains.
Doesn't
when it comes to
syphilis
picking
eat your
meth.
brain eventually?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's also just like I remember I met a version of this where the guy was like a mid-level tech guy and the girl was a crazy lady with crystals and she was taking all of his money
Yeah.
in a pretty incredibly girl boss way, but she was the
First
type
of all, slay.
very big slay.
Yeah, I love that.
But she was the type of crazy person who like talks about aliens and stuff.
Okay, but so this is where I don't feel bad for these guys.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
You showed your cards.
Yes.
I talked to you about aliens.
Yes.
And you're still giving me money. Who's the idiot?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
right.
But he had like genuine.
No offense to anyone who believes in aliens.
No
I don't
offense.
like to alienate my fan base.
Hey.
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
No, there's a difference between believing in aliens and being like an aliens person.
Yes.
You know?
But then he would bring her to these things and like his friends who cared about him would be like, this is a crisis.
Yeah.
She moved into your apartment. She's siphoning your money.
Right.
And I have to talk to this bitch about aliens.
Right.
For 45
See,
minutes
that's
because
the
you
part
left
that
her to roam
sucks.
around.
Oh, don't leave her roaming.
And I'm like, you rein her in.
Right.
You put her on a leash. You want to make this mistake. That's fine.
Yeah,
But
you
like,
talk to her. This is something that happens to me all the time because like a large portion of my friends are male comedians.
Yeah.
and then they start dating
So
a
sorry.
girl who's just hot.
Yeah.
and then they bring her to a show.
Oh, God, I do
and
this all the
she
time.
sees
Yes.
me and she goes, another girl.
Yep.
Yep.
Instead of
And
another
now
comedian.
now I'm best
And
friends
now
with
I
this
have to
moron.
talk about
Yes.
skincare for 40 minutes.
I know,
while the
but
boys are having
but
fun
I also
doing bits.
I also enjoy them eventually, and then
Yeah.
what happens is I become friends with these girls.
Yeah,
because
you-
I do, and then these guys break up with them, and I'm like, hey, sorry, I'm still friends.
I'm
with
still
her.
friends
Yeah.
with her. Yeah. Every
She's
time
my 4th best friend, so
Yeah, or like every time a guy starts dating a girl I'm friends with, I'm always like, if you guys break up, I'm on her side. I don't give a
I'm
fuck.
always gonna be on
I don't
her
care
side.
if you break
Yeah.
up because she stabbed you with scissors.
Yeah.
I'm on her side. What did you do
Yeah,
to make
why-
her stab you with scissors?
Thank you.
yes. Yes. I will always be on the girl side. But
I was
there's-
talking to one of my friends about that the other day because 2 of my friends are dating, and I was like, I'll be on her side, and he was like, you're my friend, and I was
Well,
like,
not anymore.
She's
Not
anymore.
a girl.
She
She's
has
a
a
woman.
pussy. Sorry.
She's a girl.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, we had a friend who was like, I think this person is flirting with me. And this person was so insanely out of her league that it would honestly be like me being like, I think that I can date Matt Rife.
Yeah.
And you would have to
that's your top.
no, but in terms of how many people want him.
that's what I'm
Sure.
saying.
like, this is someone who like everyone
I mean, no
wants
offense to
fuck.
Matt Rife. Again, I'm not trying to alienate.
No,
anyone.
don't. No aliens, no Matt Rife. We all with you. But like that level of delusion. And
Sure.
then as a friend, you have to like tap dance around.
Right.
Yeah, because you don't want your friend to embarrass themselves.
Yes.
Or
Okay,
like
so
get hurt.
this is what
so
I've
you have to
learned.
be like, oh, I actually heard that person isn't dating right
Right.
now.
Yes.
Like
They have an infection.
you-
they have an infection.
Create
Yeah.
a backstory. And then you're like, are you okay? 'Cause
Yeah,
if
like,
you're
what-
making
what
this
is going
leap
on?
in
It's
your
like you don't
brain-
have a job, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But in the inverse, when women are dating men out of their league,
I love that.
I live for it.
Yeah, of course.
It's incredible.
I love that.
Yeah, but I do think, I wonder sometimes if those men are doing like the safe thing where they date a woman who everyone's like, oh, she's just lucky to be here.
Right.
And then he treats her like shit.
Yeah, but I also think that people often think that when like a woman is beautiful but just kind of fat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he just likes that.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I've dated plenty of hot guys who just like fit
Oh yeah,
girls.
Yeah.
Samesies.
And
Yeah.
like I think sometimes people are like, how did this happen? And
Yes.
it's like,
well, it's
you
like, well,
cannot-
because I'm fat, I also have no personality.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like you can't conceive
I'm also
of,
gross.
I have an infection. It's like you can't conceive of the fact that somebody is sexually attracted to big tits and big ass because you like bird women.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're weird.
You are weird.
You're weird for liking tiny bird women.
I will tell you that this is what I'm learning. So Noelle is my co-host, right? She's my best friend since I'm a kid.
Yeah.
She has taught me very, very specifically to yes people to death.
What do you mean?
I
Okay,
love
so
this.
you're a guy
I
that's
love
dating a
this.
woman out or lusting after a woman out of their league. Go ahead,
Sure.
tell me about it.
Okay, so I know she has like 5 million Instagram followers, but like I really feel like I know her for her. You
think
know, like
you
these
do,
guys
yeah.
are really like more into her looks, but I'm like into her personality. I
Yeah.
feel like that's my in.
I think she'll love that.
And then like I DM her like maybe like 4 or 5 times.
She likes when you
a
DM
week.
her.
You
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah, I think the more you DM her, like the more chances you have of it going through to her general
Yeah, and you'll
box.
stand
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually. Do you think so?
Yeah, I
'Cause
do
that's
think
what I was
so.
thinking.
I do think so.
Okay, everyone's telling me. That's
No,
wrong,
you listen
but
to me. I believe in you. I think you're great. I think she'd love
This
you.
is the smartest thing.
Because when
I
you
love
resist,
you.
Yeah.
then they get angry.
Yeah, and they blame you.
You're right. If you resist, you're breaking their sick
Yeah,
little
no,
dream.
it's-
And they do this. This is what happens if you resist. Okay, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna
Okay.
be the guy. You be regular. You don't yes me.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just like I'm obsessed with this girl. She's so. I know that everybody we know wants to fuck her, but I really think that I could do it.
Well, she's kind of been hooking up with guys that are maybe like a little bit more
No, but the thing you don't
successful.
understand is when we
Okay.
talk, I listen to her. That's what they do. They
Yeah,
start
and now there's a
yelling
fight.
at
But you
Yeah.
see,
and
there was no
we're
fight.
in a fight.
Yeah.
We're not in a
Yeah,
fight.
but you're totally
Yeah.
right. And it's like, go ahead, fall on your face.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do
And
it.
it's like, you know how there are like parents who believe that you have to like let your kids climb on stuff that's too high so they fall off and never do
Yes.
it again?
That's
It's
exactly what it is.
that.
That is exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
like your
Touch
friend.
the hot stove.
Listen, it's like your friend. They're like, I'm gonna wear pajamas to this job interview.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Why am I putting my emotions on the line?
Yeah.
You're the idiot. I'm gonna say I think those pajamas look amazing.
God,
Yeah.
you're so good at protecting your peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm only learning this like in the last 2 years. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's just so great.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone to death.
Yeah. You're
I
right.
love this.
Because they're
Because no one cares. They're not listening to you.
Yeah.
And they didn't come to you for real advice. They came to you for
Thank
validation.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will validate you all day long.
Yeah.
Not my real friends.
yeah.
No, but some random because so many guys that aren't my real friends come to me for advice just because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Let's give them bad advice.
Give them bad
right.
advice.
You're using me for advice.
Give them bad advice.
Yeah.
My therapist always tells me just because someone's not using you sexually doesn't mean they're not using you.
Ooh, that's deep.
And it's like if you're gonna do that,
cut me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you bad advice. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If you're gonna use me as a vessel to dump your problems on, here's some bad fucking.
But they don't want to
advice.
Yeah.
listen. They don't want to listen to the advice you have
That's
to
what I'm
give.
saying.
No.
Yeah.
So don't give it. Let them talk. Let people talk more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit quietly.
Sit quietly and listen.
them
I
talk.
there are a few people that call me constantly.
A few. I can't even imagine.
there are a few
And
people that
they're-
call me
they're my-
constantly.
Tracy is my crisis person, and I do not think
You're
that is
mine
You are not.
now.
You are
unique
not
By
one
the
of
way,
them.
you're mine now.
I'm right here. There are, I would say, 3 to 4 people that I call my vacuum people.
Yes.
And what I do is I put you on mute and I vacuum. I will clean my
I'm
whole
obsessed
house.
with this.
I will watch a TV show.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear anything I have to say. They just want to say it out loud, and I'm here for you. But I am going to put you on mute. I did not listen to anything you said, and I did clean my house.
I refer to these people as like I'm their emotional dialysis machine. I just sit there and I go,
It's good for a long drive.
While
Yeah.
you talk for so long that you eventually come back around to realizing that you're wrong, I just sit there and I go,
You guys should
yeah.
get like
and I filter all the bad out just by letting you fucking go.
you should like get like a little drop that you press.
Yeah, that goes,
every,
oh
like,
my God, crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You press it
crazy.
every 20 minutes.
That's
To,
crazy.
to like make it more realistic, it's like, wait, sorry, you cut out for a second.
What?
You know?
That's insane.
Just let them keep going.
if you're talking to
Why
someone,
would she do that to you?
If you're talking to someone,
First of all, how dare she?
if you're talking to someone and they say that's crazy more than 4 or
They
5
did not
times,
listen.
they're
They're
not
not
listening
listening.
to you.
They did not
Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
I've literally said to people's faces, like close friends, I've been like, "Did you just that's crazy me?"
yeah, yeah.
And they're like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I am still learning to not go all in on these people's crazy problems, but it is a life struggle of mine to not
Yeah.
give
Andrea.
my energy. Yes.
This is my intervention with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting in on this.
Yeah.
We actually wrote
Sure.
letters.
All right, here we go.
Sure.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think tonight I am going to start drinking,
Okay.
and I'm gonna drive.
Okay. Sure.
Because here's the thing: if I decide that, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
So
know.
do you want to fight with me?
No.
You're not making a difference. No one. When people have their mind made,
Yeah.
there's no convincing them otherwise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
My therapist said something to me about my mom because my mom was out there doing my mom stuff.
Right.
And I was
Qigong.
trying to take care. Yeah, she was doing Qigong in a big way. And I was trying to I was like, all right, I'll talk to her. Like, I'll call her. We'll talk for 20 minutes. I'll listen to her complain and not
Mm-hmm.
do anything. And she was like, you're not loving her with that behavior. She's like, that's not loving behavior. You think it's loving.
Mm-hmm. No,
but
I don't think it's
not.
loving at all. But I
Yeah.
don't think it's. But I also don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. But I think I'm saving her, and I'm not. I am robbing her of her bottom. Some would say.
What do you
know?
mean?
Like in terms of like if I think I can like steer her to water,
No.
but she needs to steer herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yes her to death. You're
Yeah.
not. Yes, you getting too invested. That's what it is. I feel like I always try to give people, and you know this, like my real friends.
Yeah.
I will always tell you the truth, and I
Yeah.
will always tell
Yeah.
you what I think the right thing to do is, even if I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I always say, I'm like, hey, I definitely would not do this.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
But this is the right thing
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And I think that there's, that's my inner circle.
Yeah.
And then my outer circle is my vacuum friends, where I go, oh yeah, you should definitely go to her house.
Yeah.
She doesn't pick up the phone, go to her
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. I don't know. I mean,
you gotta
maybe
let people learn a
she'll-
lesson.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And also, you're not changing their mind.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're
So
not.
why am I going to stress myself out trying
Yeah.
to explain something to you
Yeah.
when you're not going to do it anyway?
Also, this is the thing that gets you stuck in 2-hour-long conversations with people you hate.
Yes.
Because
Thank
you're like trying
'Cause
to
now you're
actually
invested in
help
that.
them.
I know.
And they're like, arguing with you about your advice.
Yeah.
Or asking you like follow-up questions, blah, blah. But if you just sit there and go,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That becomes a
I think that's a
20-minute
great idea.
conversation.
yeah. Yeah.
You know what
you're
I
right.
mean?
Yeah, you
You're
should
right.
never go to the dentist. Dentists
Yeah.
suck. They're all scam artists.
It's
I think you're
scary.
right.
Yeah.
It is scary.
It's scary. You are right.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the scrapey sound either. So I think you should not go.
I also get into it with other people who are like me. That's where it's crazy. Where
Yeah.
there's two I want to fix you guys, both pretending to fix each other
Sure.
and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm a
Yeah.
fixer. I am a fixer, like by,
Yeah.
I don't know, just inside of me.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
And letting that go and using that only for your very inner circle.
yeah.
Yeah.
And letting go all of the bullshit.
What changed that? How did you actually make the change?
I'm telling you, Noelle is like this.
Yeah.
I would watch her yes people to death and I'd be like, hello.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do I care?
Yeah, I do think that this is also like a self-esteem thing.
Yeah.
Because trying to like fix and save everyone is also a way of trying to get everyone to like you.
Yes.
Sure.
But if you're like, I don't know, I like myself, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Make
the good
all the
stuff,
best. Date
dude.
her. Absolutely date her.
Marry her.
Listen, you guys have broken up 7 times.
Marry
Yeah.
her.
I think the next step is a proposal.
yeah. I think that's perfect.
Do it.
I'll
Do it.
drive
Don't even
you.
get her a ring. Just do it.
Just
Yeah.
show up.
Don't even wait.
Do it
Yeah.
tonight.
I'll marry you. I am an officiant. Let's go.
There's also you guys. See, I think I'm also addicted to watching people fucking implode.
Yeah, that's
It's
what Facebook is for.
100%. It's the best sport,
Yeah.
especially for sober people. It's like one of our best sports
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we have. But I do think that these people, they just go on the cusp of imploding.
Yeah.
And then they pull back a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, and then they go back in again. And
Yeah.
It's like there's 25 to 50 cycles of these people.
Yeah.
And it'll never stop.
I'm so involved in like a few people's lives that I don't know.
Yeah.
from social media.
Yes.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Me
And
too.
I'm like,
I know everything.
oh, great. I'm like, they got back together. Great.
I
Yeah.
knew
Great.
it. I
That's
knew
just
it.
what we need. Last time this happened, you know how that ended, and she had to move.
Yeah.
But I love, see, that's where
It's fun.
I satisfy myself.
It's reality television.
Yes.
That's what it is.
I'm
It's
a
literally real.
parasite.
And like,
Facebook.
I'm
is
so
reality
obsessed
TV.
with these people that I don't even need an explicit post that you're back together. I can tell by like the type of thirst trap you're posting that you're back together.
Oh, yeah.
Now, also, you have to get your friends that really don't know them in on this. And then there's a group
Yes.
text.
Yeah.
Complete strangers.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yes.
did you see what she did? And she's like, yeah, of course I see what she did.
Yeah.
I have post notifications turned on
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah. There's a guy.
But they
named-
don't even know, like, I barely know her. And then I
Yes.
get my friends in that all the way don't know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we come together.
And then
Yeah.
I see them in public, and I feel like I'm seeing a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
She's here.
She's
She's
here.
here.
She's here. I'll tell you everything. She's here.
and I know they got back together, and this is amazing.
She's here, and she's bombing. She's bombing.
She's coming real crazy. Well, so our next respectfully topic, which is really, really right in there, is we're talking about people pleasers.
Yeah, we should take a break and talk about it when we come
All right,
back.
we'll take a break. We're going to talk about people pleasers. This is me. It's going to be a direct attack on
This
me.
is another intervention.
I brought my besties here to give me the
We're
hard
interventing
truth.
you.
Yeah.
So we'll be back. We're back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went for a hike a little bit.
Yeah.
That was
You look
nice.
so refreshed.
Yeah, thank you. I there was a stream.
Yeah.
and I sat along it. I just got some sun for a little bit, and I purified the water.
Oh, you look
That's nice. I went to a
beautiful.
Russian bathhouse.
Oh, shit! Did
yeah.
they beat you with a stick?
Yes.
Yeah, you look
and
good.
I
You look beaten with a
loved
stick.
it.
She famously loves getting beaten by a
Famously
stick.
Yeah.
loves
I knew that about
beating with
you.
a
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I take her out back and beat her with a stick all the
Explicitly
time.
not in a sexual way.
It gives
Yeah.
you such energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It's
Yeah.
really nice. It really wakes me up.
Anytime I'm like really tired, I'm like, get that stick.
Get the stick.
There was.
It beat me like a horse.
There was this thing I was doing for a while. I was taking rubber bands, and when I had an intrusive
Oh,
thought,
that's-
Which, by
an
the way,
addiction
every
thing.
14-year-old emo girl did.
I didn't know.
No, but that's an addiction thing too.
Oh, I was so
I remember when
fucking
my
into
boyfriends
it.
would get back from rehab and they would all
Yes.
have the rubber bands around their wrist.
Yeah.
If I could just have a body full of rubber bands and just like be like,
Do you want to be able? If you want to be able to tell if someone just got out of rehab, rubber band on the wrist, no shoelaces in the shoes, that person just
Oh, but they
very
they just got
recently
out on the
out.
bus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have just got out of the bus, energy 24/7, 365.
Yeah, you picked me up when I just got off the bus. And I was like,
I did.
Did you have shoelaces?
I wore shoes without laces because
You were like, I'm going to rehab.
It wasn't my first rodeo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really.
Do you have Do you have any advice for like a care? Like, what would you?
Oh, a
like-
rehab care package?
No, not even a care package, but you're ready to go to rehab again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what do you do to prepare?
Well, here's the thing.
What are you packing? What are you bringing? What are you wearing?
Here's the thing.
Sorry.
I packed.
it's
No, you're
hilarious.
so right.
Yeah.
I packed this time, but
Okay.
this one I didn't know they take away all of your belongings. So that sucks. But here's what I will
okay,
say.
but let's say that it was the one before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or before that, or before that.
You're gonna want a bunch of like books that you can just fucking plow through.
Right. So like a
Because
Tracy
you're not
Morgan autobiography.
Yeah, because you're
Okay.
not allowed to have your phone. So you need something that's going to
Right.
replace the phone. You need that. You also need a journal of some kind.
Okay.
Because you need to be able to write down people's phone numbers because they take your phone, but there's
Yes.
a payphone that you can use.
I love this.
So
do you bring a phone book? Like, do you bring your friends' phone numbers with you?
so write them down in the
So
journal.
bring a phone book. Yeah.
Because they'll let you keep your journal if you're like, I want a journal about like my experience.
But you don't tell them that the phone numbers are in there?
I mean, it doesn't matter if they're
Right,
in there,
yeah.
but they won't let you keep like your phone or like other. They'll take away
Right.
everything that they can take
Okay.
away. But if you're like, oh, I need my journal to talk about my experiences,
Right.
then because a lot of people only have the phone numbers that they have memorized,
Sure.
Yeah.
So they're just calling like their mom or whatever. But if you
what
have
a
like,
mistake.
if you have your friends' phone numbers, you can
Everyone's
like,
like, you're in rehab again.
yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, God, goodbye, click.
If you have your friends' phone numbers, you can call and have like a regular conversation. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So you want that. Also, you want underwear because they're gonna try to take away your underwear and make you wear paper disposable underwear.
Why?
But because I don't know, they don't want you to like hang yourself with,
With your underwear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hang out yourself with any of your clothes, I guess.
Yeah.
well,
Why
they
underwear
take away
specific?
all of your clothes.
What do you have to wear?
You have to wear paper scrubs.
That's so
Really?
demeaning.
Yeah,
In
and then-
every rehab?
And you in detox, you wear the ones I've gone to for detox, you wear paper scrubs, and then if you commit to staying for the 30-day rehab, you earn your clothes back.
What?
So they give you your clothes back once you've been like a good girl.
This is like Lord of the Rings. They're trying to like go on a quest to get
But
every item of their clothes back.
I convinced the nurse to let me keep my underwear.
Did you tell you had an infection?
I was like, I'm not suicidal. I'm trying to get sober.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to live.
Also, I'm not going to hang myself in my panties.
Yeah,
That's so
so
embarrassing.
like,
embarrassing.
a string can't handle
Yeah.
this.
Also, it doesn't matter if you have an infection because there was a woman in the same room as me who had such a bad yeast infection that when I walked in, she apologized for the smell. So
Was it like walking by a Subway sandwich shop?
It was like
that's
walking
a
through a
delicious
it
smell.
was like
Yeah.
walking through a fish market.
Oh dear.
And yeah, she did apologize for the smell.
I
and
think
she
the
was
paper
wearing,
would be probably better for the infection because it's breathable.
Yeah.
I think cotton is the best. 100%
I mean, paper.
cotton.
I think paper.
Why aren't they giving her medication for the
They
infection?
were, but it wasn't going away. Anyway,
scary.
Okay, next.
anyway,
What else in your pack?
Bring your
Yeah.
undies. Don't bring your like laptop. Don't bring your charge your
Obviously,
phone
yeah.
and leave it in your bag. It doesn't matter. But that's really all you're allowed to bring. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
it. But I will say I'm also good at this. If you're going to the emergency room, bring headphones, bring a phone charger.
Right.
Those are the two most important things.
What are you
that you're
wearing
gonna
to
need.
rehab?
Get
I
ready
wore-
with me.
Get ready for me with
I'm
rehab.
sure there are
100%.
definitely.
We're wearing yoga pants, no
Okay.
elastic band, no
Okay.
drawstring.
Right.
Right. Comfy pants, no drawstring. Comfy crew neck sweatshirt. Again, no hoodies,
Okay.
none of
No
these.
strings.
You're
Okay.
not allowed to have these. No zippers. Nothing like that. Sports bra. You can't
Oh,
have
this
a
is like
regular
visiting
bra.
someone in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And slippers because they don't have shoelaces and they're comfy.
Nice.
But
Socks?
They're gonna give you grippy socks, so
Yeah.
you don't have to bring socks.
You gotta have grippy socks.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked you up from rehab, and I got you a coffee and a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And we just sat in the park.
And you didn't even smoke.
Yeah. She ate the cigarettes.
but it is the vibe.
Yeah. It's part of the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in the park in Lower Manhattan, and I'm like, you are not objectively close to the craziest person here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Oh,
were
no.
you were doing quite well.
Yeah, it's also funny because I used to live across the street from that detox center.
Yeah.
And I would always be like, why is everybody on this street so insane and need a cigarette so badly? And then it was me.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, right.
And that's pretty cool.
Were you
Yeah.
playing chess when you were sitting in the park?
Yeah. I was feeding pigeons and talking to them like they were my friends.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I was like, okay. And I would have been, and at this point, you were like, I think I'm going to drink one more time.
And I did.
Yes. And
How'd
I
that go?
I woke up in a hospital 3 days later.
Yeah.
And I think I might have yesed you at that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you have to yes addicts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to yes addicts.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the hardest facts.
Yeah, you guys would have had a fight like
Yes.
to the death.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
also so funny that I was in detox talking to other addicts like, we're not going to be sober forever, right? And we were like giving each other our Instagram so we could drink together after.
You're like, I got a
Crazy.
journal.
The journal just goes.
It's
I love
just
booze, I love
recipes
booze,
for
I love
drinks.
booze, I love booze.
Yeah.
It's a bartending recipe book.
I like this one guy told me like we were talking about our favorite bars and I named one and he was like, I love that place. And I literally went, I live above that place. And now this
Perfect.
fucking meth addict knows where I live.
Yeah.
God, I'm an idiot.
And you've been together ever since.
Yeah.
And we've been together and we
Congratulations.
we're really happy and he has no teeth.
And you're engaged.
Yeah.
And
He never bit you.
That's true.
He never
No,
bit
but
you.
gums are surprisingly sharp.
Yeah, you would be surprised.
There's bones in there.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've lived a long
just get a
life when you
bruise
know
that you
the
don't
sharpness of gums.
Yeah, they're sharp.
When you've gotten gummed to death.
I haven't, but I do know a guy who got a blowjob from a woman with no teeth and he
She
said
still
it
do.
was sharp.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
good to
Yeah.
know. I mean, okay, so as a people pleaser, I will say this:
You'll take your teeth out to give a good blowjob.
I'll remove my whole mouth.
Yeah. That's the new don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Don't take your teeth out to give some loser a blowjob.
Oh God. I mean, this is something that I see that I hate in myself that other people pleasers do, and it's the most pathetic thing ever. A people pleaser will take on everyone's bullshit until they
Yeah.
are so fucking angry, and then they find another people pleaser or one person who will listen, and they fucking run their mouth for like 25 minutes
And
about
lash
this
out.
and lash out. Yeah, people pleasers lash out, and that's like the ugliest part of the whole thing. Is
Yeah.
they find another target who's also also just a nice person and they're mean to them.
Yeah, people think being a people pleaser makes you easy to be friends with, but it actually makes you so hard to be friends with.
Yeah, you're not a nice guy.
Because you're just getting walked all over all the time. And then the second that I bring up that your behavior might be a problem, you're like, well, what? I'm fucking nice to everybody.
Yes. Right.
All I do is take care of other people. And it's like, yeah, nobody fucking asked you to.
Yeah, it's almost incel-y.
Yeah.
It's like emotional incel a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Like,
it's like a friendship incel.
yeah.
I think I've done it more with men than women.
I was just going to say, I do it
Yeah.
more. I'm like not a people pleaser,
I'm
but
a
I am
man
a man
pleaser.
pleaser.
Yeah.
I've
Yes.
stopped doing that though.
Me too.
I have
I'm
stopped
trying to
doing it.
stop. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I am not a man
I do not
pleaser.
care anymore.
I'm a woman pleaser.
You know what I've started doing
Interesting.
that?
You want a mommy's love?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because me and mommy have emotional incest.
Well, I'm your mommy now.
Yeah, I know. It's
Oh my God, you and Tim Dillon are going to adopt her?
please.
God, it's not the first child we've had together.
My dad is dead. All I want is for you and Tim Dillon to adopt me, and I can go to the Hamptons with you guys.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be something. I don't know if
Abuse
it's
me
gonna be fun.
emotionally. I don't
It might
care.
not be fun, but it will be a story.
It will
Yes.
be
Yeah.
something. You could do a whole podcast on
I
that.
want to come. Can I come?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well, it's not both of you.
It's like when your friend with rich parents can bring a friend on vacation. I'm the
Yes.
friend
Like,
who
can we go
gets
to Paris
come.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, can
I want to come.
Tim Dillon's gonna drown me in his pool.
Yeah.
and I'll
I feel like
finally
he would
be
let
happy.
me. He would let me come to. Like you guys would let me come, so I keep you busy, so they
Well,
don't have to take
that's
care
what
of
they
you.
do. Yeah. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It's
I'm like, we'll go on
Andrea,
adventures.
just go play with her, please.
Go play.
leave us
Just go
alone.
play with Lizzie. We're in the middle of
Can't
something.
do this.
I've learned, this is what I've learned about people pleasing. This is how I get out of it. You have the gift of being like funny and you're a comedian.
Yeah.
You can just ball bust your way out of it.
Okay.
Like one of my friends who's a
example.
guy
Yeah, tell
was
us.
like a friend of mine who was a guy was like, I don't know. I'm just having a lot of feelings about this. And all I did was I looked at him and I was like, you? The guy who's always talking to me about his fucking feelings is having a lot of feelings about this.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm being an asshole. You know what I mean? Like you just have to like hit them with a little ball busty
Right.
thing.
Like truth and comedy type
And,
energy.
Yeah. Or like I've had guys be like, I don't know, man. I just really think, and they're like doing the thing we just talked about where they're yelling at me about another
Yeah.
woman. And I'll be like, I'm sorry, are you yelling at me right now? And they're
That's
like,
good.
oh, she's busting my balls, but she's right.
Well,
You know?
you've broken up 9 times already.
Right.
Yeah.
She has keyed your car.
Right.
She lit herself on fire in your bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I think, see here, and this is where,
Yeah.
it's like the first topic that we talked about. It's like, I think it's perfect.
Also, sometimes just repeating what they said back to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I say, has it been working for you? Have what
Yeah.
you've been doing, has that
Yeah.
been working for you?
Yeah.
I think
Then keep doing it.
I think a big part of my people pleasing is that I'm scared of people. I'm
Yeah.
scared of
You're scared
confronting-
of them not accepting you, though.
I'm scared of them being like cruel to me. I'm scared of them,
Yeah, of them not
freaking out
accepting
and
you.
like you're right, yeah, and lashing out at me because that's like I was, raised with certain people who were emotionally volatile, so I
Sure.
don't know
you basically said, I was raised by someone.
someone.
Not
could
naming
that
names.
Yeah. One of the two. The one who's dead was the bad boy.
Certain someone
You can
created
talk about
my
that now.
attachment style.
Yeah. The fires in which I was forged in. My dad was an emotionally volatile person, so I try to keep control of every situation because I
Right.
don't know, because I know with volatile people like they could zig when you zag. So like I'm trying to like make sure that I have control in the most way possible, and that's appeasing them to feel safe.
But counterpoint, if you
Yes.
are being people pleasy to someone and then whatever the thing is doesn't go their way, then they might lash out at you.
And that's what I'm scared of.
Okay, and that's why I don't do it anymore.
I'm saying
That's
even
why
if
I don't do
you-
it anymore.
Even if you are like, yeah, whatever you want, I'll do whatever, blah blah blah. Everything that I do is for you, and then they still don't get what they want. You're gonna be the object of their anger.
Yeah.
So you're just like prolonging. If a person is a cruel person, they're gonna be cruel to you.
Yeah.
You're just like prolonging that process.
They'll figure out a way to make it your fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas if you're just like, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm
then
not
you can
even
like,
in your orbit.
yeah. Then you
Yeah.
can cut it off before it starts.
Yeah. What changed for you, Tracey?
I think that I was in a relationship for so long where I was so scared of losing
Yeah.
this person that was so awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with him. Like I was recreating these situations with all these different guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were all the worst, but
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm the common denominator that like allows this to happen. And I think that also, on the other side, forget relationships with friendships.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of, it's like, why do you call me? Not
Right.
you,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
these randos. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't even know you like that. And, Noelle
Yeah.
would always be like, why are you picking up the phone for all these people?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. They call me.
And who says that to
and
you?
This is
and
just
she's like,
pointing
you
directly at me.
never shut your brain off.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
never unplugged.
Yeah.
She's like, if someone calls you at 3:00 in the morning who is like a random comic,
Yeah.
you will pick the phone up.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are you picking up the phone?
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing a show at Governor's.
Slay.
I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying- This is literally years ago.
Yeah.
And there were like open micers on the show that were like, oh, these two guys, they were like, oh, let's keep in touch or whatever. And I gave them my card, which had my phone number on it.
Yeah.
And they decided to keep calling me non-sexually, just about comedy.
Yeah.
worst.
And
Yeah.
like picking my brain all the time.
I don't do picking my brain anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that is a people pleasing thing.
Yeah.
Where you pick up the phone. So now they are stored in my phone literally years later as with their name, and it says "Do not pick up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to do.
I mean, you say you don't do picking my brain anymore, but you do pick up lost puppy new comedians. who
No,
are like,
no,
who are
we're
like,
not
I
doing-
want to do stand up
for
comedy.
you.
And you're like, come
Google
under
it.
my wing.
Google
but,
it.
But
Yeah.
Google it.
Google it. There's a
Yeah.
group on Facebook where you could talk to all of your peers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, the thing is like, you not you, Andrea, but like the royal you, like you, whatever your thing is, whether it's comedy or not, like you should value how your experience and like the level that you're at more than helping these people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what you learned and what your experience has taught you, you had to do so much to earn that.
Yeah.
And now you're just going to give it to someone for free just because they asked
well,
for
see,
it.
Yeah.
there's a fine line.
Nobody
on
did that
though.
for me.
Right, but there's a fine line on that because people that I care about, I don't mind sharing information.
Yeah, I'm talking about strangers.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing information. I do not like to get time raped.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Sharing
Yeah.
information is
Sharing
one thing.
information's great. I want to share information with everyone. If you ever see me
Yes.
doing something that you want to do and you're a close friend of mine, please call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. What I'm talking about, what you're saying, which is like,
You get time raped.
I've had
It's a
Yeah.
very painful experience.
I've
Yeah.
had like new comedians be like, can you just text me every day and tell me what show you're going to so I can hang out at those shows? No.
no,
Yeah.
you know what I say?
No. What are you talking about? That's insane.
I'm at work. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Time raped is such a good term.
It's so
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
It is the most painful rape.
Yeah. And clipped.
And that's the clip.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Well, it's also, again, to quote my dad, the only finite resource we have in this world is
Yeah,
time.
I'll never
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
back again.
Yeah.
I had to talk to a 50-year-old retired teacher's aide
yeah.
about the open mic scene. Why did
Yeah.
I listen to that?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a very bad use of my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People pleasing is kind of like, there's like fight, flight, freeze.
Yes.
I think people pleasing or fawn.
Yeah.
When I learned fawning, it was a big
that like a baby
fucking
deer?
day.
Yeah.
No, so fawning, kind of. So fawning.
like a baby deer.
It is a baby deer. And I am the baby deer of your guys' life. But fawning is like, when you were abused as a child, one of the ways to deal with it is to be it is people pleasing, is to like tell the person like, I can see how you would see this, and you like conform to their reality to stop them from abusing you. So I'm a master at like being around a volatile person and like kind of like whispering them so they calm down so they won't hurt me anymore.
Sure.
Like I remember one of the last times I talked to my dad, he was like talking about how he could sue me and like being
What
demeaning
a
about
relaxing thought.
Yeah.
either telling me he could sue me or asking me to give him a kidney.
Why do you have anxiety?
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Where did that come from?
It's insane. But I remember like leaving my body and watching myself like have conversations with him like he was a lucid person who
Yeah.
was saying normal things.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I have like a black belt in this.
Yeah.
So I do it automatically. Like someone will say something crazy and I'll like snap up like a doll and be like, I know where you're coming from. And
Yeah.
and then I can speak their
Yeah, but sometimes that is a great defense mechanism in a positive
It's
way.
how I survived.
Yeah.
But I do think that's where like the thing I was saying, like the ball busting thing comes in.
Yeah.
Because that's such an easy way to be like, oh, you're being crazy right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without it being like, I'm not seriously confronting you.
Yeah.
Like we've talked to the same people who, crazy women love talking to us.
Yes.
Whereas like
Here I am.
in the way, no, but different, like sad crazy.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know?
I've been sad crazy
Where
before.
I'll be
Yeah.
like,
Me too.
I'll be like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, I just had to take out a restraining order on this person and I like barely know you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the way to get out of it is to be like, whoa, what a crazy thing to say to me. I gotta go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're right.
And I feel like the thing you do is you're like, wow, so why don't you tell me about what happened leading up to, and it's like, look, you
Yeah.
don't know this person that time.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah,
like,
it depends on. Well, that's the thing. Yes, because you, Andrea,
Yeah.
have this kind soul and kind face,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're a magnet for crazies.
I know. And I do think
Yeah.
I value kindness. I remember explicitly the people who showed me kindness along the way. And I do think it's a hugely valuable thing in life. But I think that everyone's being like bullied or hurt by the world, and
Yeah.
it's my job to stop it.
But I would argue,
yeah.
I would argue that it's also not kind if it's not real.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You're just letting this person use you emotionally.
Yeah.
And that's not the same as being kind. Like if we're using the example of like letting some open micer call you to ask you what comedy is like.
Yeah.
It hurts my feelings to even think about
Yeah.
that.
But like the kind thing to do is to say, this is the website I went to where
Yep.
I found out how
Yeah.
to do comedy.
Yeah, and here's a list of shows.
And
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to go to that website.
Yeah.
The thing that you don't, where the kindness ends is you being like, okay, I guess I'll take you under my wing and then resent you for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know what? Because it's not kind to put someone in a position where you're going to resent them.
But also, don't you think that friendships happen organically, and we
Yes.
don't have to make these weird coffee dates with people to pick
Yeah.
our brains if we
Yes.
were really friends with them?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making a lot of good points.
Just saying.
Yeah,
If
the
we're
weird,
not
the
close
weird
enough
coffee
to-
date thing is crazy.
It's so crazy.
But if we're not close enough to, just like always talk on the phone,
Yeah.
then we're not going to talk on the phone.
Do you know?
Yeah.
You know what I fucking respectfully
Make a friend.
hate? When people are overly familiar with you immediately.
Yeah.
And I don't mean people who are like genuinely just warm people.
Right.
When people go, I fucking love you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing actually going on. Like I find this often with like women. Yeah. Where it's like, I fucking love you. And it's like,
We just met.
get along.
We just met. We're leaving, and you're hugging me and telling me you love me.
Yeah.
Who are you?
But you don't.
There's this thing that I've heard sober people say it, so I think it's a sober people thing, but it might be like a therapy thing.
Yeah.
But it's the phrase, say what you mean, but don't say it mean.
Ooh.
I would argue sometimes you gotta say it mean.
You love
Yeah, but that's not to like
generally-
real people, though.
Generally.
Yeah.
Generally, just say what you mean, but don't say it mean. So when somebody's like, hey, I'm having this problem and I really think like I could use your help with it, you can be like, I don't really feel comfortable talking to you about that because I don't think we're close enough.
I have these people in my DMs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
The people in my DMs that are like, and I'm like, they're like, hey, I need you. I'm having a crisis. I need you. And I'm like, I'm having my own crisis right now, and I don't have the space for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love saying space.
Yeah.
I love saying bandwidth. I love saying space.
Yeah.
But they don't stop.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I
And
know.
you're like, these people know where I live.
I also love the word inappropriate. I'll be like, oh, I don't have the emotional bandwidth for this right now. And then if they don't stop, I'll be like, hey, I already told you that I can't handle this right now. So you continuing to talk to me about it is inappropriate.
Yeah, inappropriate is a great one.
It's like for some reason less personal. Like I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying you're like socially wrong.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
You
There's
know
a
what I
rule that
mean?
you're breaking.
Yeah,
I didn't make the rule. I didn't make the rule.
but
Yeah.
you're breaking a social code here.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. I just put on
I
funny
do
hats
get
and
that
talk
a
into a
lot.
microphone.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Wait, so can I ask you a question about dating now?
Of course you can.
Because you are back out on these streets. You have
the
been for a
streets.
few years.
Yeah.
Love this.
And Tracey posts fucking just the dating app profiles are fucking
They're so good.
insane. Like, how has it been for you? Because you're in a relationship for a very fucking long
Yeah.
time and not a good relationship.
Not a good one.
Do you? Some would argue the worst. Pretty bad. Like, do you take dating breaks? Like, I am so curious because you're both like self-actualized women who I respect. And
I don't know if I'd call myself self-actualized, but I'm getting there.
yeah,
Well, I will say this. After the experience that I had for so many years,
yeah.
it takes a lot to hurt my feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very different so no, I don't really need to take a break. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't there's no when I was younger, things would affect me.
Yeah.
And those things that would affect me don't really affect me like 90% of the time anymore. Wow. I don't take these things personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think like, oh, well,
That's a
the-
superpower, by
It
the
is
way.
a super-
Well, I will
superpower.
tell
I'm
you
looking
why.
with awe.
It's like we all have low self-esteem, right? That's why we're here,
Sure.
and that's why we're women.
Yeah.
And then
We were born women
We were
because
born
we had
women.
low
Yeah,
self-esteem when we were just
literally.
a star in the sky.
There was
it's
some,
like sugar, spice, low self-esteem. That's what makes a little girl.
There was some sort of like genetic thing. Like
No, there is.
They do markers now. They test for like genetic defects and then low self-esteem, and they're like, there's
It's a girl.
actually
Oh,
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
This is gender selection, actually.
It's the sorting.
I didn't
want to
say anything,
low
but
self-esteem.
we see low self-esteem, and they're like, "We're gonna buy everything pink." So no, okay. So I think that we all have like these friends, right, that we think are better than us, even just looks wise, right? We
Yeah.
have like these hot friends. You're like,
Yeah.
if I could just look like her,
Yeah.
my life would be so different.
easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've had some of these friends where I'm like, my friends are so hot, they're so much hotter than me, and they were online dating,
Yeah.
getting ghosted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was not nice, but it made me feel better. It's almost like the whole thing that women do where it's like Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time.
Victoria's
is-
Secret models get cheated on.
Yeah.
all the time. So it's like, oh, you guys are treating my super hot friend
Yeah.
just like you're treating me. And it's like, okay, so it's not that I'm not good enough. It's
Yeah.
just that
Men aren't good enough.
It's not
Yeah.
even that men aren't good enough. Dating is like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? Just dating is like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Genderless.
Yeah.
Dating is like this.
I just meant like if I'm saying if
Oh,
somebody
sure.
cheats on you, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because that's a bad person.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
You
it's
know what I
also
mean?
dating is like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
what,
is what happens.
what does bother you? You're like, most things don't get to me. What gets to you?
I mean, I think that the rejection is kind of like, I'm also a little bit, I think it bothers me that I'm not being open anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm very
Yeah.
guarded. So it's like, yeah, of course you can't hurt my feelings. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
And that.
But like,
yeah.
I kind of want to care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Do you find that that makes it hard to care when you do like someone?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, like the guys I don't like.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I do.
You know, there's someone in my life that I love very, 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 very much. And I could not care less if I never talked to him again.
What do you mean?
Whoa.
Just because I don't care. Like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because my life goes on. And here's another like thing that I actually kind
I
of
think you might be describing a secure attachment style.
Yeah.
okay, but it's like taking the secure attachment style and then like times 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very anything extreme is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
and I'm
fair.
doing this thing where it's like very extreme,
Yeah.
and then I'm thinking, okay, so today when I'm on my way here, I'm like, okay, let's pretend I have a boyfriend. What do I do with him? I don't want him living with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to go out on my nights off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like going out to eat.
Yeah.
I don't want him really just sitting in my house.
Yeah. It's like that. Like,
I mean, what do you have a boyfriend for? So I could take him to a wedding that I don't want to go to once a year?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could
and
take
then
a
you can't
photo
even
with
flirt
him?
with anyone there, which is the only fun thing to do at a wedding.
He's preach.
And
Yeah.
then I'm like,
Do you think you've lost? Are you like resentful that you've like lost your ability to
that's
like
what I'm saying.
have that
that's,
giddy,
that's what bothers me.
like young girl
Yeah,
excitement?
you can't have like a crush on someone
I
now.
want to be texting with some guy where
Yeah.
I'm like,
Getting
Is it gonna
butterflies.
happen? Does he like me? Is
Yeah.
he into me? Is he not? And I think that I recreate all these situations constantly.
Yeah.
But I'm not serious. Like in my head, I pretend that I
Yeah.
like these guys, and I don't.
Yeah.
And I want that feeling. I want the feeling where you're like, I can't wait until he kisses me tonight.
But I also think that that might not be you. Like I
It
think
used
that-
to be.
But no. I'm saying like you might not be having that feeling because maybe these guys aren't worth having that feeling over.
Sure, but
Like,
like,
there
I don't
might
care
be-
in general.
But I think there might be someone you meet that could make you care.
That's what people
If
say.
like if somebody
Yeah.
was like, because it does sound like you're somebody who has a very keen sense of who is and isn't worth your time.
Right, but I
I
don't
think if you
know
found
if-
somebody that actually was, you might have that feeling again.
and then what do I got to do? I got to live with this
well, then you would
guy?
want him in your house, or you would want to hang out with him on your night off.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know.
okay.
People
that that's almost like skeeves me out. Though.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but I think it's because
yeah, because you had someone in your house for
Yeah.
so long that
yeah, exactly.
fucked your shit.
Right, like I don't
Yeah.
want a man in my house. I don't want anyone sitting on my couch. Like I got a new
Right.
couch.
It's a
I don't
nice
want you on my
couch.
couch.
But
I
I
know
think
it's a
if,
nice couch.
if
I
you were
don't
in
want
love
you
with someone,
sitting-
you might want them on that couch.
yeah, but last time I was in love with someone, they were on my couch and they ruined my couch.
Yeah.
But
Like,
maybe you
this
weren't
is-
actually in love with them.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, probably, but
Maybe you were in love with the couch.
I think there's something that women go through a lot of the time where you like do an audit of your past and you're like, did I love in a serious way anyone
ever
was
in my
with?
whole entire life?
Yes.
Yeah. Or did I love that I had a boyfriend when,
Right.
Yes.
when I was
Yeah.
lonely?
Yeah. And that's sad math to be doing.
Yeah.
And I do like, I think like the place where you're at is like such a healthier place. But people do say,
But I take it to an extreme.
and I get that.
Yeah.
I understand why you do that for sure. Then people hit you with these like magical platitudes of like when you get the right
Like
one,
what I just said.
But I do. That's what I'm saying. I do believe that's true.
Maybe.
But
I've never seen it.
you
But I
can't
would say
you
my-
canse promise that type of weird
Yeah.
magic
Well,
to people.
that's
I would
also
say my
bothers
difference
me.
on that perspective is I think that that's true, and I also don't think it's sad if it never happens.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Do you know
does
what
it-
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
I go
Yeah.
back and forth on that though, because it's like, okay, so I'm Italian, right? I grew up in Queens.
What?
Where I know.
you?
I grew up in Queens. You know, get a union job, and then you marry
Right.
the girl of your dreams, and like all, this
Yeah.
is what happens, and then you have kids. You just do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You do it anyway.
Yeah.
So I always thought like I was that girl dreaming of her wedding. I was
Right.
that girl like
Yeah.
picking out my wedding dress, and I was like, when I get engaged, I want this ring, and it never happened for me.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like some deep sadness about
Yeah.
that,
Right.
But not
Yeah.
because I don't want that.
I know.
Yeah, that's
But
kind
I'm
of what
sad
I'm saying.
that I don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
If
I
that
think it's
makes
also
sense.
It makes
freeing
total
to not
sense.
want it because now you don't have to be married to somebody you don't like. You know what I mean?
I mean,
because I think,
not everyone. I would say 90% of the people I know are in marriages because they settled.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
they had to, because exactly what I said. I don't know if you want it or not. You just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the freedom of knowing that it's not the most important thing to you is like that's what keeps you out of that. Like I look at some of my past relationships and I'm like, God, can you imagine if I realized who you actually were when I was like 47?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
and what at that point I just stay.
Sure.
Because what am I
Sure.
gonna you know what I
What are you
mean?
busy?
It's
Like, what are you doing? What are you
also
doing?
like it's been my whole life.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, okay, to know that you'll be fine. Whether
Yeah.
or not this magical person comes along, sure, it would be fun and nice if they did, but you can also have like plenty of great life experiences that
Yeah.
not only happen without that, happen because you don't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you can have a great career, you can have great friends, you can do great things because you're not somebody's fucking wife.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I read something, or maybe saw just a TikTok video. Let's get real.
Yeah.
About
love
like, we're obsessed with age. Women are obsessed with age. We're obsessed
Yeah.
with youth, and we're obsessed with, looks and all this kind of stuff. To appeal to these men that want women that look young that we don't even want to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's kind of freeing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to appeal to a man that I'm not interested in.
That's
Yeah.
something I have been thinking about recently in terms of like the way I feel about myself because I've always wanted to be thinner.
Right.
And the last two people I've dated were people who specifically only liked women who have my body type. And I liked them more than anyone else I've ever dated. And I was like, oh, I like these people more. I don't want to change my
Well,
body
you don't- you
attract
don't.
someone that I don't like. I want to find somebody who fucking likes me because I like that. I like the type of person who's been like, I've thought about what I like. It's this.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a more, I think, thoughtful person than somebody who just likes the same thing as
Oh
everybody
yeah. You're
else.
like you're grown.
Well,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
far as like, the body image stuff, right? I think that there's also a difference between a man who likes you despite your body.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
I've
that
dated those
element-
guys too, and that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I want. I don't
Yes.
want anyone who cannot accept me for exactly who I am right this second.
Yeah.
And I would argue more than accept me. I want you to be
Yeah, I
fucking
want- yeah.
crazy about
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I want you to love my body, not be like, man, she's funny. Sucks that she looks like that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Like if
I
she
have no
lost 20,
interest
or
in
the
that.
people that say like if she lost 20 pounds, she'd be really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no interest in that person. That person fucking
Yes.
sucks.
I think that for me,
Yeah.
being fat, it wards off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like right up front, like you show me who you are, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't have to. I think that, thinner women or women that have the quote unquote ideal body type have to go through a lot more jerks than I do.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that is. Well, but people reveal themselves over time.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
have to, I feel like when you have the, I don't know how to say it, but like, I guess ideal body type, right?
Sure.
Where you're
Yeah.
thin and you're petite and all this stuff. you're more accepted in society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so everyone likes you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like,
And everybody's nice to you at the beginning.
yes.
Whereas
and
like
everyone's
not
nice to you.
everybody's
It's
nice
almost
to
like,
me on the first date.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's almost a pretty privilege. I hate to use pretty because
Sure.
that has nothing to do with body type, but it's pretty privilege, and it's actually working against a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what their real
Will
intentions
you marry
are.
a monster by accident
Yes.
sometimes?
It's
Yeah.
the same way as like I put that I do stand up in my dating app.
Oh, I don't.
And my dating apps because I don't want to date a guy who doesn't like that I'm a mouthy fucking
Oh,
broad.
I can't have any more
I want-
conversations with these guys about stand up.
But that's why I put it in because if they ask me how they can get into stand up, now I know who you are and I don't want to date you.
Yeah.
But if I find out on the third date that you want to do stand up, that sucks.
Yeah,
I
but
just
what if
wasted
you
so
put me
much
in one of
time.
your skits?
Right. I want to know that you're that guy right away.
But they're
You know what
all,
I mean?
but they're all that guy right away.
Yeah.
Most of them.
no,
yeah.
100% of them.
This is Tracy's the future. Tracy's
No,
like
100. They are all. This is the only thing that we will talk about, and I don't want to do
Right.
it anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do it. There was this one guy, very good looking. Right, we matched. He was like,
Who's your favorite comedian? Like
Yeah.
it's a test.
Yeah.
it was worse than that. I mean, he kept asking me things about comedy, like he was an insider.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
I told him,
I
I was
get it.
like,
You've heard a podcast.
I was
Yeah.
like, so here's the thing. So I don't put it on my dating profile. What he must have done was reverse searched one of my
Yeah.
photos.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I see you do stand up. I go, where would you see that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't have any pictures on stage. I
Yeah.
don't put that in my profile. So where would you see that? And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, it just seems like you had comedy pictures up. And I'm like, that's not true.
yeah.
There's nothing about any of my photos that say comedy.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I do stand up. I know that you searched me. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't put it in my profile because of a lot of guys have these weird conversations with me, and it makes me uncomfortable. I don't want guys showing up to my shows. I
Yeah.
don't like
Yeah.
this. This is really, really uncomfortable. So we talked about something else for like a few minutes, and then he went right back to it.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
said, this is exactly why I don't tell people. And he's like, okay, I won't talk about this anymore. 2 more minutes. He starts it again.
Oh my
And I
God.
go, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I go, do you know how annoying you are? And he's like, wow, you're not such a nice person.
Oh,
And I
dude.
go,
Fuck you.
Stop telling me I'm not a nice person.
I'm the nicest
Okay,
person.
yeah.
but I'm not
Yeah.
a nice person to people that do not respect my boundaries.
Yeah.
That's not being
I don't care.
mean.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
That's
Call
not
me mean.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like that's not
And
not
I'm
being
like,
nice.
oh, this
Yeah.
guy's like a doctor and he's so hot.
yeah.
I know.
And then I'm like,
I know.
unmatch, report.
Yeah.
yeah.
Report.
Oh, I'll report anybody.
Report
I don't
for
give a
stand-up
fuck.
questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
That should be one of the
Yes.
things. It's like, did
Yeah.
he sexually harass you online, offline, or ask you questions about stand up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or ask you what podcast you listen to.
red flag.
Oh, Joe
Yeah.
Rogan.
Yeah. I mean, as the host of Joe Rogan, you must get questions.
I do get a lot
Yeah.
of questions.
Time.
Yeah.
I've noticed that you know how guys used to say I read Playboy for the articles?
Yes.
The new version of that is I listen to Joe Rogan for the guests.
Yeah.
That's what guys love hitting me with that. I'm like, you can
I listen
don't
to it for
care.
the deer meat.
I don't. Yeah. I listen to it for the UFC stuff. Okay, I don't care.
yeah.
I got that
care.
recently.
Yeah,
I
oh,
got that
really?
recently. The UFC. It's like, yeah, I don't really like him or anything. It's just the UFC stuff is real interesting.
I don't care.
He's a great interviewer.
It's real. Oh, he's a great interviewer. It's the
interviewer.
best.
Also, Joe, I will definitely be on your show.
Love to do the show.
Love you. We'll do anything.
Love to do the show.
I know he listens to this
And
podcast, so.
Tim
He
Dillon,
does.
adopt me.
Yeah. Joe Rogan have us on. Tim Dillon adopt us.
Yes.
I also don't have a dad.
Please. This has been a beautiful podcast. Do we have
love
any?
it.
Do we have any other respectfully? Anything you respectfully want to bring to the table?
burning desire to
Any
make fun
burning
of
desires,
something?
Tracy?
I mean, I think I did that before we started.
yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of shit out of the way.
We covered a lot
The
of
pre-podcast
bases.
is the real podcast.
I know. If you could be
This
a
is
fly on the
censor-
wall.
This is but it's like that all the time.
Every
Yeah.
single time. You're like, do you believe this fucking happened? This person, that
Yeah.
guy's dead, and this guy
Yup.
talked about it in her podcast.
You're like,
and
name.
name. Oops, little teaser there. Oops.
Okay, anyway.
Sorry.
I'm going to take legal action against a podcast I used to produce for. Anyways.
Cut that out. Thank you.
Yeah, I would advise that we cut that out.
Yeah, let's put a little note to cut that. Thank you. As the executive producer of your podcast.
Yes.
I think you're the executive producer of our lives.
Yes,
now.
I am the executive producer
Tracy
in life.
is an executive producer, but
is my
one that I
control.
don't abuse. I only reach out to
appreciate-
Tracy if I really fucking
You can
need
always
advice.
reach out to me. We're real friends.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are real friends.
different.
That's not how that works.
And I love
Different.
you.
yeah,
yes.
I love you more.
Where can people
love you too,
find
Lizzie.
you? Follow.
love
Please
you
don't
too.
find me because I get very nervous.
Yes.
I'm fairly skittish.
Don't call her.
How
don't call
can
me.
Tracy get on? How you can get on Tracy's couch?
Yeah, please don't do that.
Yeah.
So I have these podcasts: 90 Day Fiance Trash Talk, Teen Mom Trash Talk, Catfish Trash Talk, our brand new
Oh, I love
podcast.
catfish.
So pumped! A Vanderpump Rules podcast available only on our Patreon, which is all available at TracyCarnazzo.com. I have some upcoming show dates, including, but not limited to, my live podcast, Trash Talk Live, November 11th at Caveat on the Lower East Side as part of the New York Comedy Festival.
Amazing.
It's at 4 p.m. on a Saturday. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. And Tracy tours around with lots of fucking comedians. She's always on the road. So
do.
go on her website.
Oh,
She
yeah.
might
And you
be
can
in your
also
town.
follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Trixie Tuzini, TrixieTuzini. But again, TracyCarnazzo.com.
Trixie Tuzini, fucking just
Love it.
music to my goddamn
Obsessed.
ears. Lizzie, where can they find you and follow you?
You can follow me at Lizzie Cassidy on Instagram and listen to my other podcast, Close Calls, a comedy podcast about near-death experiences. And everything else is in the link tree in the Instagram. Just go there.
Yes, we love Close Calls. Follow me at Andrea Comedy 69 across all platforms. Nice. Go. We post clips from this podcast on my TikTok and on the show's Instagram, respectfully_pod. And go on there and have an opinion in the comments section.
Yeah, why not?
I
Tell us what you love.
welcome
Tell us what
it.
you hate.
Yeah. Ask us if this is the Fat Ugly Bitches Summit. We
It
love
was
that.
Today is.
the Fugly Fat Girl Summit.
Probably
Thank
Fat
you.
Girl Summit. And by the way, rate, review, subscribe, write a little review of the pod.
Tell someone
Yeah.
about it.
Yes.
Post it on your Instagram story.
Tell one person about it.
Please.
Don't tell too many people. You don't need to be like bombarded.
No, don't be fucking weird. And we love you, and we'll talk to you next
Subscribe
week.
to the YouTube. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.